Oh, there he is. Yep, I see him. I think we should get started. Chairman Adams, Dave and Sadie both have to leave around 10 o'clock or so today. So we should ask the people who are presenting both at HTFC and HFA to make it snappy.
Mm-hmm.
I second that, Alex, in the interest of getting through the agenda and being mindful of our director's time constraints. But I also at the same time want to say that when we do this, I always feel a little sheepish about it, because I just don't want anyone on the staff of the agencies to think that if we go through your item in a hasty way, that's there's nothing should be inferred from that, regarding our incredible admiration of the work and support of the work and support for all of you. You know what I mean? What I'm trying to say is when we rush, I often feel like our staff colleagues can feel like we're not honoring their work. And so I really want to apologize in advance for that feeling and tell you, as I've said many times, we really do honor your work. You guys do amazing work. We get to see it once a month from our vantage point, and we never have enough time in these meetings because we're so pressed for time and we have so much on the agenda to pause and tell you what a great job you all do and how much we and another about 19 million people across the state of New York owe you, in thanks for all the great work that you do. So again, please remember that if you can file that away, I really do mean it on behalf of all of the members and directors of the agencies. Thank you for all the great work that you do. And if we move quickly through your item, just remember what I'm saying now. We really care and we're really grateful. Alex, why don't you do it? Oh, you're most welcome with that. Alex, why don't you do the honors to make this official under the open meetings law, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Thank you. So the governor's executive order in response to the continuing impact of COVID-19 has extended the exemption to the open meetings law that provides that public bodies may meet to take actions without permitting in-public, in-person access to such meetings, and authorizes meetings to be held remotely by conference call, provided that the public has the ability to view or listen to the proceedings and that such meetings are recorded and later transcribed. I think the extension runs through the end of today unless it gets extended. As a result, today's board meeting is being held via conference call instead of a public meeting open to the public to attend in person, but a call-in number has been made public so that any interested members of the public can listen to the proceedings. I'm not going to ask motions and seconds to call to order our meetings for July 14th. I'm going to start first with HFA, HTFC, and AHC. Can I ask for a motion and a second to open those meetings?
So moved, it's Ken.
Second, it's Sadie.
Sadie, thank you. Now I'm going to ask each member to record their votes to open the meetings. Ruth Ann?
Yes, aye.
Chris Curtis?
Aye.
Is Joyce on? No, we're going to skip Joyce. Jesse Olchak?
Aye.
Sadie is obviously has said yes. B and Rose are not attending today's meeting. And James, your first vote.
Aye.
Okay, so those meetings are now open. Now I'm going to ask a motion for Sunny May. Can I get a motion for Sunny May?
So move.
Dave Capel, in a second.
Second, Havidan.
I'll be done. Thank you. Ken,
Aye.
Ruth Ann,
Aye.
has John Ballin joined us? Not yet. Okay. Dave has said yes. Joyce is still not on. Jesse?
Aye.
Elaine, are you on? Elaine Gross? No. And we have Avidan. So we have 5 to open that. Now we're going to move to the Mortgage Insurance Committee meeting. Can I have a motion to open mortgage insurance?
So moved, it's Ken.
And second?
Second, Jesse.
Jesse, thank you. Ruth Ann?
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
okay, and John is not with us. And then our final group is the SONYMA Finance and Program. That's just going to be Ken and Jesse. So, Ken, do you want to make a motion? And Jesse?
So moved, Alex.
Perfect.
And second.
Okay. Okay, so all our meetings are now open. As items are presented to each board throughout today's meetings, these motions and seconds will be used unless specific items call for a different vote, or unless any board member or director wishes to record his or her vote differently. Back to you, Ken.
Thank you very much, Alex. Thanks, everybody. Welcome once more to our July meetings. I want to turn things over to Ruth Ann for her monthly President's Report. Good morning, Ruth Ann.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody from the Finger Lakes today. Everyone who gets to live in the Finger Lakes is very lucky. It is incredibly beautiful up here. I hope everyone is enjoying their summer so far. We have a great agenda today that covers a variety of our programs and also highlights two major announcements that the agency has made this month. We're only 2 weeks into July. We've already done the groundbreaking for Pilgrim Village, which is a very large $93 million project that has more than 90 units of affordable and senior units up in Buffalo, right by the hospital. Yesterday, I was in Oswego to do a ribbon cutting for Harborview Square, which is a really great new construction of 76 affordable apartments in Oswego that was the recipient of a DRI award. It's a brownfield site. It had tax credits and ESD funding. It's really a great sort of all agency priority project for the mayor there, which was great to be at. Last week, we did an announcement for our 9% low-income housing tax credit RFP. We awarded $104 million to create and preserve more than 800 affordable units across 16 different projects all across the state. The governor has certainly made it clear that the housing plight is a priority, and these 9% awards are a very big part of that and part of our long-term strategy to expand affordable housing while also driving economic development across the state. They really go towards increasing the supply of housing in every region of the state. And they also provide, as you'll have seen before and will continue to see, many sort of supportive services targeting priority populations, all advancing our goal around broadband, our goals around the greenhouse gas emissions and the governor's CLCPA agenda. So sort of projects that are meeting multiple goals across the board. They will also inject a total of $371 million into local economies, leveraging over $250 million in public and private resources. So, and we talk a lot about numbers, but it really is a big deal for us and a big deal for all the communities that get awarded. So today we're going to ask for approval on the first initial awards there. And the second thing I want to talk about is on our agenda are some important investments for land banks. So first, we're going to approve some funding through Legacy Cities for the development of 1 and 2 family homes in Syracuse. So these are land bank properties that one of our programs is using to get the land back into productive use and into housing, which is really great through Legacy Cities. And the second item is the introduction of the Land Bank Initiative, which is a new funding source from the budget this year. As many people probably know, land banks operate primarily in communities that have high concentrations of vacant properties. Many of those are the result of the 2008 foreclosure crisis. Back in 2012, there were 10 land banks across the state, and now there are 26, which is really great. And they're everywhere from Long Island up to Buffalo. And they generally are partnering with governmental entities to strengthen communities. They're acquiring, stabilizing, redeveloping blighted and abandoned properties and putting them back into productive use, and in most cases getting them back onto the local property tax rolls. Today, land banks across the state have generated over $250 million in private investment. They've demolished over 1,200 blighted structures and have brought back 2,400 properties into productive use. So they're really a great asset across the state. And the Land Bank Initiative is $50 million that came through the budget this year that's going to assist those organizations in their mission. So we're going to do phase 1 of this, which will be $10 million to allow the land banks to fund some of their day-to-day operations, property management, technical assistance, planning, that kind of thing. And then we'll continue with additional tranches of funding later this year, as well as into next year, And we are doing this very much in consultation with the land bank associations, and this is sort of aligning with how they what they see as their needs across the state. So before I go give away all the thunder, because Brett and Crystal will talk about some of these things, just sort of a highlight of two interesting things you'll see today. So with that, I'll turn it back to you, Ken.
Ruth Ann, fantastic, and thanks for the detailed report there on land banks. It's sort of 10 years in at this point, and I was around in 2012, as you might recall. And at the time, I scratched my head: is this going to work? So 10 years later, to hear your report this morning it's very encouraging, and it's obviously working really well. And great that the governor, with some nudging from Jesse, no doubt saw fit to plug another $50 million into programs. Anyway, let's do item one on we're going to start today with HTFC items. And so pull up, if you haven't yet, your HTFC book. We got number one. The first item on the agenda is transcript of the Board Governance Audit Committee meetings, which were held back on June 23rd. The transcript should be deemed approved absent corrections for members and directors. 2, resolution authorizing awards on the Community Development Block Grant, Economic Development and Micro Enterprise Program. Crystal is going to present this item. Good morning, Crystal.
Morning. As you know, HCR makes approximately $10 million in CDBG funds available on an open round basis for economic development activity. We award funds throughout the year to units of local government to assist businesses that propose the creation or retention of jobs for low and moderate income individuals. The Office of Community Renewal is recommending a $300,000 CDBG Economic Development Award and requesting approval to award and enter into a grant agreement with Fulton County. The funding will allow the county to establish a local microenterprise program, and the county anticipates supporting 8 micro businesses with this funding. Happy to answer any questions the members may have.
Thank you, Crystal. Any questions for Crystal on this? If not, can you make it official?
Sure, thank you. Now, before the HTFC members is a resolution submitted in connection with this item. All in favor of adopting this resolution, please say aye.
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 Thank you. I'll take that as unanimous. The motion is carried.
Item 3 is a resolution authorizing awards under the Community Development Block Grant CARES program for COVID-19 assistance. Back to Crystal.
And as you know, HCR is administering $127 million in Community Development Block Grant funding made available through the CARES Act. These resources were provided to help communities across the state prevent, prepare for, and respond to COVID-19. This month, the Office of Community Renewal is recommending awards totaling $1,829,126 for 3 applicants. These awards include funding to support a vaccine outreach program through the United Way of Long Island, funding to support Sunnyside Community Services in delivering mental health and social services in Queens, and funding for Allegheny County to support a small business assistance program. The Office of Community Renewal is requesting board approval to award CDBG CARES funds and enter into grant agreements to support COVID response projects for these 3 recipients. Again, happy to answer any questions.
Crystal, thank you. I'll just point out for our friends here that Sunnyside Community Services is a stone's throw from where I sit here in Long Island City, a great social service agency, as Ruth Ann knows, for many, many years. And they do great work in the community, so I have no connection to them, nothing official, but I can vouch for the fact that they're very well regarded here in Western Queens, and so it's nice to see they're getting some support. Would you please make this official?
Before the HTFC members is a resolution transmitted in connection with this item. All in favor of adopting this resolution, please.
Aye.
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 I think you've got a weak signal there, but
Oh, I'm sorry. The resolution has been adopted.
that's what I thought happened. Number 4, a resolution authorizing an award increase under the New York State Home Local Program. And again, back to Crystal. Thanks.
Are requesting approval to increase funding for 2 existing New York State Home Program contracts. The first is for greater opportunities for Broome and Shenango. The organization is working to relocate 4 homeowners living in dilapidated mobile homes in a deteriorating and flood-prone park. The non-for-profit has requested a $600,000 increase to support replacement units and relocation into a safe nearby park. The second is for Rebuilding Together Saratoga County. This organization has intervened to provide support to homeowners that were unable to receive home program rehab assistance due to a different failing non-for-profit administrator. Rebuilding Together Saratoga County has requested a $350,000 award increase to support rehab of 10 owner-occupied homes in Washington County. We are requesting board approval to award additional New York State Home Program funds totaling $950,000 to these two organizations. I would just also note that these are two high-performing organizations that very routinely step up and provide support to communities in need, and the two most recent additions to the Rural Preservation Program. Happy to answer any questions from the board.
Thank you, Crystal. Any questions for Crystal on this item? You know, I would note, Ruth Ann knows, we've talked about this before, the important work we do for families that live in mobile home parks. And what strikes me at this is important, Crystal, it sounds sort of actually, you know, preemptive or preventative, right? Like so often, just to use a proverbial sort of metaphor, you know, we see situations with flooding, like we've seen in this is Shenango County, we see, you know, big storms, big floods, and it's the low-lying areas where mobile home parks are often, and those homes get destroyed and the people left homeless, and because no one thought to move them to higher ground before the flood came. So nonprofits at the community level in places like Shenango County that have the foresight to say, hey, wait, we need some money to move people to higher ground before the flood comes, good move, right? Because we've just seen the devastation that happens when you don't do that. So commend you for that one. Can we make this official?
Yes. Now before the members is a resolution transmitted in connection with this item. All in favor of adopting this resolution, please say aye.
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 Thank you. The resolution is adopted.
Great. 5 is a resolution authorizing an award under the Legacy City Access Program. Burke Blakeman's going to present the item. Good morning, Burke.
Good morning, everyone. This request relates to a Legacy City Access homeownership project in Syracuse, as the commissioner mentioned, and this was one of the first 3 to be approved by the board in November of last year. It's returning now, seeking an increase from the original award amount of $717,400 up to $1,173,392. The reason for the request is that 2 more homes have been added to the project scope, which raises the total home count from 5 to 7, and the total unit count, including ancillary rental units, from 6 to 9. The per unit subsidy request is increasing slightly from just under $120,000 a unit to a little over $130,000 a unit. It's still well below the new term sheet maximum. And the per unit increase relates primarily to an overall increase in hard costs of about 9% since the project was originally approved. So with the expanded scope, it's going to renovate 7 vacant homes into first-time homeownership opportunities that are affordable at about 50% AMI in Syracuse South Side and North Side neighborhoods. And the project also complements the city's Resurgent Neighborhoods initiative, which is building new construction single-family homes on vacant lots for homeownership in these areas. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions the board may have.
Thank you, Burke. Any questions for Burke? Burke, I will just remind you that yesterday, July 13th, was Geek Awareness Day. And Syracuse, it's actually called Embrace Your Geekness Day. And this is, those of you who follow the news of upstate New York on the news service, NewYorkUpstate.com, will have read this already. But this announcement came out yesterday as Embrace Your Geekness Day. Syracuse has now made the list of the top 100 geekiest cities in America, registered at 86 out of 100. And these are cities that excel in events for people that follow characters. You know, people, when Ruth Ann wants to dress up as Princess Leia and go to Comic-Con, things like that, or stores that have collectibles that geeks collect to impersonate other characters from cartoons and things like that. Syracuse, this is a big moment for Syracuse, and we're going to congratulate the mayor later. It is now on the top 100 list of geekiest cities in America. And Burke, I just needed you to know that. Let's make it official, you.
Ken, beforehand, CPC is very involved in the Legacy Cities program. So Alex is going to jump in and explain how I can vote here. But I also just want to say for the record, this is a really impactful program. It's a ton of work. And so I just want to give a shout out to the agency for sticking with us on this. It's a real, a lot of blocking and tackling, but we're getting it done, and it's great to see these come through.
Thanks.
Alex?
Thank you, Sadie. Alex,
So,
what do we have to do here?
Right. So as Sadie points out, HFA vote requirement is 6. Today's meeting, we only have 6 board members, including Sadie. As we have done in a couple of other circumstances before, we look to our code of conduct, and the code of conduct provides extenuating circumstances that permit an exception to the full recusal requirement. Sadie has informed us of this, so that's the first step. And the reasons for allowing her vote are that her vote is required in order to meet the affirmative vote, and she is voting with the majority. In fact, the vote is unanimous. That's the second requirement. All other members, directors are voting unanimously. And without reconstituting the board, which we can't do, the members will be unable to meet the affirmative vote, and the action is required. So with those 3 factors recorded, I am accepting her vote and waiving the recusal requirement.
Let's confirm the unanimous vote too. All in favor of adopting the resolution before you, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? I'll take that as unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex, Sadie, and you for working that out. Item 6 is a resolution authorizing award selected for the multifamily finance 9% low-income housing tax credit request for proposals, and Brett will present this one this morning. Good morning, Brett.
Good morning, Chairman. Good morning, everyone. Thank you. We are requesting the board's approval for the remaining 4 conditional awards that were made under the summer 2021 round of our 9% RFP, which were awarded in December. The balance of those awards were approved by the board of previous actions, and as those projects proceeded towards construction closing, and so we have kind of the last tranche here before you. Just moving right into those. The first one is known as Vital Brooklyn Site I, Park Place. This is with Help Development Corporation as the entity. I will point out on your memo that the awardee entity is incorrectly listed as 206 Smith Street. It's actually Help Park Place LLC, which is detailed in the description. So I just wanted to point that out for the purpose of the minutes. This is a 44 unit new construction on what's essentially a parking lot next to the Bishop Walker Healthcare facility in Crown Heights in Brooklyn, the site was awarded through a competitive Vital Brooklyn process, as you may be familiar with. And what we'll do is construct 44 units there with 1 supers unit and 8 units set aside for homeless families, as well as a community service facility and parking structure on that site. The community service facility will house the Women and Children's Annex of that aforementioned Bishop Walker Healthcare facility. The next project on our list is Reynolds Way Apartments. This is with Arbor Housing, formerly known as Steuben Church People Against Poverty. This is in the city of Elmira in Chemung County. This is a 42 unit project on several sites in the city of Elmira, located in the Downtown Revitalization Initiative target area. These buildings will be developed into 42 units, and we'll have a set aside of 13 units for survivors of domestic violence. Our next project is known as Vestal Chateau. This is the developer here is First Ward Action Council in the town of Vestal. It's in Broome County. This will be a 30-unit project, 24 of which will be a single building for seniors age 55 and up, and a separate 6-unit townhouse-style building for households without age restrictions. It's actually located in what we would call a housing opportunity census tract, which has high-performing public schools as well as access to public transportation. And lastly is Blocher Homes. This is a 93-unit reuse of a former assisted living or adult home in the village of Williamsville on the edge of Buffalo. It's being developed by People Community Housing Development Corporation, and will 92 units, 93 units rather, which includes a superintendent unit. I'm trying to see if there's a set aside. I don't believe there is one, but that is, those are our 4 projects. If folks have any questions.
Brett, thank you very much. Any questions for Brett on any of these?
And it's Jesse. I will channel my inner Ken and note that 2 days from today is 716 Day. As a proud native Buffalonian, that is important day recognizing our area code for Western New York. So just felt the need to channel you there, but otherwise good to go.
It's very important. We'll all pause and at the appropriate time and think about that. We better keep going here.
Absolutely. Now before the members is a resolution transmitted in connection with this item. All in favor of adopting this resolution, please say aye.
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 Thank you. The motion is carried.
Great. Thanks very much, everybody. 7, a resolution authorizing Section 8 project-based voucher awards. Dan Byer's going to present it.
Ooh, live from the geek capital, the 10th, 12th geek capital of the world, right, Dan?
Actually, I'm in Lexington, so sorry. I wish I could say that. Live from 641 Lex. Welcome, everybody. Good morning. I'll be quick. So this is the second tranche of awards from our project-based voucher NOFA that was released on March 15th and with proposals due on May 2nd. We received 64 proposals for this. You may remember last month we approved a large number of them. We're bringing a few more back that are now ready to go, recommending 16 projects for a total of 377 project-based vouchers. These are all existing units, so they will have a very immediate impact on our overall utilization, which needs to remain high in order to preserve our federal resources. This brings our total so far for this round to 1,257 project-based vouchers, the largest single competitive allocation of vouchers in the history of the program at New York, to my knowledge. We will have a few more projects next month for Track 1 new construction in partnership with Brett and his team, but this rounds out the awards for the existing projects.
All right, very good. Thanks so much, Dan. If there aren't any questions from members, go ahead, make it real.
Sure. Now before the members is a resolution submitted in connection with this item. All in favor of adopting this resolution, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. The resolution is adopted.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, everybody. 8 is a resolution authorizing awards under the Land Bank Initiative Phase 1 for operations. And good that Ruth Ann gave us the heads up on the land banks. But Crystal is going to present the item.
Yes, thank you, Ruth Ann, for doing the heavy lifting on this one. As she mentioned in her report, this year's New York State budget included $50 million to support the services and expenses of land banks. We are seeking approval to award up to $15 million of that funding to support the first phase of this new land bank initiative. The award of up to $15 million will expedite delivery of critical funding for land bank operations and non-capital expenses. The grant awards will be issued for up to 3 years of annual funding, scaled based on each land bank's annual budget, with funding released based on documentation of eligible expenses. Eligible uses of the funding will include general operating costs, property maintenance, technical assistance, and pre-development costs. We hope to launch a second phase of the funding in the fall for land bank capital expenses like property acquisition, selective demo, and rehab. We are requesting approval to award up to $15 million in land bank funding and enter into grant agreements with eligible land banks. Thank you.
Thank you, Crystal. If there aren't any questions about this, and again, we heard about the importance of the Land Bank Initiative from Ruth Ann earlier, we can move forward. So we'll ask you to take care of that.
Now before the members is a resolution transmitted in connection with this item. All in favor of adopting the resolution, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. The resolution is adopted.
Let's go to 9. It's a resolution designating agents of the corporation for signatory authority for the Governor's Office of Storm Recovery. And Anika Shaw will present this item. Good morning, Anika.
Anika?
So while Nanika gets online, I do want to say we do have to open up the HTFC governance and audit committees. That is Chairman, Mr. Olchak and Mr. Curtis. Do I have a motion to open the committee meetings?
So moved.
Good morning, I'm here. I was having trouble getting to my mute button. I'm sorry.
No problem.
No problem, Anika.
Chairman opening, and I'm sorry, a second from.
I heard Jesse.
Thank you, Jesse, and Chris. That was unanimous.
Thank you.
these will be our audit and governance committee votes.
Great. Let's go back now that Nanika's on the line, and have her do item 9, the signatory authority resolution, and then
Okay.
and go to the next ones that require the governance committee. Good morning, Nanika.
Good morning. So yes, Gosser is requesting the addition of Kimberly Hedinger, Gosser's Chief Operating Officer, as a signatory for all HTFC contracts and instruments. Due to Emily Thompson's departure as Acting General Counsel, this addition is necessary to ensure that all contracts and instruments are signed in an accurate and timely manner.
That seems fair and reasonable to me. If everyone else feels the same way, let's ask you to make it happen.
So the resolutions authorizing the signatories are before the board and audit committee. For the board, assuming the same first and second as previously submitted, all in favor of adopting this resolution, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. And for the governance committee, excuse me, I believe I said the audit committee before, but for the governance committee, all in favor of adopting this, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Thank you. The motions are carried.
Very good. Thanks you. 10 is a resolution approving revision of the Governor's Office of Storm Recovery Audit Plan. David Price is going to present this item. Thank you, David.
I'm actually going to present it for David, and he'll just be available for any questions.
Nanika, go for it.
So Gosser is requesting approval to update the prior approved internal audit plan to change the scope of the upcoming Q4 2022 audit. This change is requested after the IAD revisited the risk assessment and identified that certain risk factors and considerations have changed across Gosser. Specifically, Gosser's IAD is proposing that the Q4 2022 audit be postponed until 2023 and replaced with the contracts project, which has been identified as having a higher risk factor. IAD will resume the audit of the Public Housing Assistance and Resilience Program C project in 2023.
All right. Everybody okay with that? If so, let's do it.
Thank you. So this is before the board and the audit committee. For the board, all in favor of adopting this resolution, please say aye.
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 Thank you. And for the audit committee, all in favor of adopting this resolution, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. The resolution is adopted.
11 is a resolution approving seeker classifications, and Heather Spitzberg is going to walk us through this one. Good morning, Heather.
Good morning. This morning I have recommendations that 2 projects be classified as unlisted actions and negative declarations be made. Those 2 projects are the Federal Street and Scattered Site project in the city of Rochester and the Vestal Chateau project in the town of Vestal, Broome County. All of the materials are in your packet. If anyone has questions, I'm happy to take them. Otherwise, I recommend these actions be classified as unlisted and negative declarations be made.
Thanks, Heather. Before the members is a resolution submitted in connection with this item. All in favor of adopting this resolution, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Thank you. The resolution is adopted.
Whenever Heather presents seeker items and they sail through as these have, it reminds me, Ruth Ann, that we missed Joyce, because I know Joyce would have had a question. I hope we see her at our next meeting. The item 12 is a resolution approving a contract for case management services for the Section 8 Housing Choice Voucher New York City program. And we're going to go back to Dan Byer to present this item.
Okay, good morning, everyone, again. In an effort to improve the program's utilization, we're attempting to expedite our utilization of the New York City waiting list. You may remember that we opened a new waiting list for our Section 8 vouchers in the New York City program last year and received a record-setting almost 372,000 applications. Since that time, we've selected 30,000 applicants to actually participate on the waiting list and be called down gradually in the coming years. And staff have begun calling families off the wait list to submit complete applications to the program and eventually receive vouchers. However, the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development is strongly encouraging all of us to take additional steps to ensure utilization. Market conditions have slowed HUD's overall utilization nationally, which obviously is a challenge for a program that's trying to at least maintain its current funding level and hopefully get some additional funds for people who need it. So to do our part, we are proposing to bring in a contractor who will assist with the utilization of the New York City waiting list and expedite those applications. This is just a short-term action. So this is not a replacement of staff with the contractor. The contractor is simply helping us boost capacity in the short run, while several new staff members who we are hiring get up to speed. So we don't have a contractor picked as of yet. We're going to utilize our special purpose local administrator panel through Lisa Pagnozzi, which will allow us to pick one of several contractors that have already been vetted and bring in a contractor quickly.
All right, thank you, Dan. Sounds good. Any questions about this proposal? If not, we'll go to you.
Thank you. Now before the members is a resolution transmitted in connection with this item. All in favor of adopting this resolution, please say aye.
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 Thank you. The resolution is adopted. Before I turn the agenda back over to Chairman, I wanted to also welcome back Sarah Neitzel, who is the HTFC Board Secretary and Corporate Governance Council. So Sarah, welcome back from your maternity leave, and she will be your go-to for HTFC questions moving forward. Thanks for having me.
If I can just jump in. Hi, Sarah, welcome back. But I also want to let people know that this is Yu's last meeting with us. She has been with the agency for maybe 12 going on 13 years and is staying in our sphere, but is going to go work for an organization based up in Westchester that also focuses on affordable housing. So we are very fortunate to have her for so long. She really is an incredible talent, and we will miss her. Thank you, Yu, for everything, and best of luck.
Thank you. It's been my pleasure, really, all around. Thank you.
Thanks, and welcome back.
I want to second that. You know, Yu has been doing double duty now for I don't know how many months, doing her work on finance as well as this. So great stuff. Thank you.
Let me be the third voice. You thanks so much, members and directors. It's great working with you, and we wish you a lot of luck in your new job. And hopefully you won't be too far away, as Ruthann points out. Thanks for all your great service to the agencies over these last, whatever it was, 12, 13 years. Fantastic.
Thank you.
Let's go. I think at this point, we get to move on to HFA, SONYMA, and AHC items. I'm sorry, I left out the fact that there are some other items, but they're purely informational for HTFC. So we're going to go again, HFA, SONYMA, and AHC. So item 1, our numbering starts all over again. Transcripts of the meetings held on June 9th shall be deemed approved, absent corrections from members and directors. And item 2, approval of a resolution adopting written procedures governing board member participation in board meetings under certain extraordinary circumstance. Alex, what's that all about?
Yep, I think I mentioned this to the board members in the past. Under the new legislation, once the COVID exemption, which, as I said, is scheduled to go away today. We'll see if the governor extends the executive order. But once it goes away, we're back to the old system that only allows board members to participate via video from public locations. The change in the law, in the open meetings law, allows for an exception to that under extraordinary circumstances, assuming that the agencies had a hearing allowing the public to provide their comments, which we did. There was only one member of the public, no comment at all. And as long as the board adopts a resolution defining the extraordinary circumstances and the procedures under which a board member could participate in our board meeting without having to be in a public location, the participation is only for purposes of voting. The board member, unfortunately, will not count for a quorum. But at least this will allow for board members who are ill or who have the need to take care of family members to participate in the meetings and actually vote. So the written procedures are attached, and we're asking the boards to vote on this.
Thanks, Alex. Any questions for Alex on this? If not, Alex, can you channel your inner you here?
Yes. Now before the SONYMA, HFA, AHC, and HTFC boards is a resolution transmitted in connection with this item, assuming the first and second was previously entered for all of those agencies. All in favor, please say aye.
I'm
Aye.
sorry,
Aye.
Alex. Alex, I'm sorry. I didn't know when, if it's John Ballin. I'm waiting for Sunny May. I'm sorry for I was going to ask a question. I pressed mute. Is this being done? Can you give a context of how this is being adopted at other agencies, authorities in New York and also outside of New York? This is a good step forward for transparency to the public. And if this is, I mean, part of being, I say this ironically at home, but COVID is, I think, in a different arena. I think we have to keep track of transparency. And I'm just a little concerned. Part of being on these boards is showing up. And that doesn't mean doing what we and I did this morning, dialing in. So I'm just concerned about the context.
Right. So to start off, this is being done by a number of agencies throughout the state. If you go on Google and you put this in, you'll see that towns, municipalities, and everybody's taking advantage of this. It is important. It's an open meetings law amendment. The open meetings law folks have weighed in on the amendment. They have a frequently asked questions thing on their site. They've also published suggested procedures, model procedures. So this has and not only is it law, but also has the support, I think, of the open meetings folks. And in terms of transparency, I think the key thing here, which the open meetings law folks also mention, is that this is not intended to be an automatic exemption. In order for a board member to take advantage of this exemption in the way we have it in our procedures, in addition to the public being advised about us doing this, in addition to you voting on this, the board members have to contact council and the chair to let them know that at the next meeting they will not be able to participate and they would like to be able to vote, which they formerly were not able to do. In order for them to be able to vote, they have to provide us with a list with a reason, and the reason has to be one of the reasons laid out in our requirements: disability, illness, death of an immediate family member, caregiving responsibilities, or any other significant or unexpected factor. We are not required to say, yeah, no problem. But if the chair and the council say yes, no, we see, we understand, then you'll be able to vote. But the public will be able to see you vote, so that even though the public is not there with John Ballin or anyone else on our board as you participate from your home as you're doing today, you will be on video, and they will be able to see you. So in that sense, they can't question you directly, but they'll be able to monitor the participation. But you don't count for a quorum, which is a big deal for agencies like ours. The law still insists that the full quorum be present in the public video locations and at the agency. So I think those factors, I think, go a long way towards ensuring that you do have the interest of the public in making sure that board members participate properly is being followed. And so that's why I think this is a good thing. It should not be, exploited, but it is a good thing and it is limited.
It's a tough one for me because I think one of the things I've learned from this, and again, it's greatly ironic, but I think today is the last day of this COVID exception to decades of transparency, is I miss the interaction of, being able to shake Dave's hand, for example. I see him on the camera, and have little interactions and discussions. And I think that's an important part of the board's being able to function to their full proper extent, perhaps see the body language or even talk to the public before or after a meeting. And I'm worried that the slippery slope is extending too much. I have trouble with this. I hear what you're saying, but I don't think it's a good step forward for democracy, and categorizing it as such, I think, is really incorrect. So for what it's worth, I think we should interact with each other and with the public as much as possible.
Well, look, next month we'll be back in person at Lex for the meeting, right? So we will have that, but for these exceptions, right, Alex? Ooh, I think you would.
Correct. This will
Alex,
only be, yes.
For exceptions.
Yeah, this will only be available if we approve it and if a board member asks, and if they meet one of these very specific exceptions, and the public, as I will be able to view the board member in action. But absolutely, I agree with you, John. It's not the same as interacting with other board members in a public a forum. Absolutely.
these types of things are always used, and then they're used more and more and more. I just think we need to have the encouragement to be together. I think it's better for the public and it's better for the boards. And it makes it more rewarding. I mean, if you think about it, the new members I haven't even shaken the hands of. We've tried, but it just hasn't worked. Now, I just would like, I'm sorry,
John,
Alex.
I think we're encouraging board members to not take advantage of this. We're encouraging board members to participate fully, and this will benefit the public and us as an agency in situations where we need that vote. And that's the only time.
How about, I know we always have the opportunity to do so. I'm willing to give it a trial program of 6 to 9 months, and then you bring it back for another vote for the board. We'll see how it works. How's that?
That's fine. I think that's fine with us, right, Ruthann? Yep.
I support that.
I think that's, Ken, I think that's a good idea, John. I think you're raising all the right principles. And I hear what you mean, or what you say when you say be careful of slippery slope. And I think we can just make that judgment on we'll do this for, let's say, 6 months, and that's 6 meetings pretty much. And if we feel like we're not getting the level of interaction and transparency that we want, we can modify this or just reject it, right? And go back to, because it's an option, and Alex is suggesting we try out the option. So let's do it for 6 months and evaluate it and see what happens. I also think, behind this, Alex, is an issue, which is we don't have enough board members. So we have a problem when somebody can't make it to a meeting in person, and we desperately need to meet a quorum requirement. And so a story for another day, but we're always tight. We're always tight because we don't have enough directors on some of these boards, and I don't know what to do about that. That's maybe more of the appointments office or a governance office issue.
Well, the only thing I would add to that, Ken, and this is the one meeting where this has changed. We now, because of, Ruthann has been pleading, doing her best for a number of months, and now we have full board for both HFA with James's, and for both HFA and SONYMA. So we have the full complement. The only problem we have is the silly law that was passed that has a 6-member quorum requirement for HFA, even though we only have 9. So that continues. And right. But we do have some board members who, have had problems and have not been able to make our meetings. So that has caused these issues that we're facing today, for example, where we lose Sadie in about half an hour, and that gets us below the 6. So we are fully staffed, but we still have some issues.
Got it. All right. Thanks for I always feel like we have too few, but I guess that's the result of the statute. Good. Well, let's Alex, if you can put this before us as a motion, but with a footnote per John's suggestion that we try it for 6 months and then we reevaluate it.
Absolutely. So now before all the boards is the resolution that was transmitted in connection with this item, amended so that the resolution is valid only for the next 6 months, and it will then be reassessed by all the boards. So I believe that the board is in agreement with that approach. So assuming the first and seconds previously entered for each of the, all in favor of voting for the resolution as revised, please say aye.
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 The motion is carried and the resolution as revised is adopted.
Thanks, Alex, and thanks, John, for your thoughtful observations and suggestions there. All right, the next item, which is 3, this item is before both SONYMA and SONYMA Board and SONYMA Finance and Program Committee. And it's the approval of resolutions of the SONYMA Finance and Program Committee and of the SONYMA Board recommending and authorizing the issuance of bonds. This is why James is back on the board. Alex is going to present it.
Unfortunately, James is on the HFA board.
Oh.
And this is SONYMA. So once a year, SONYMA comes before the Finance and Program Committee, which is you, Ken, and Jesse, and the full SONYMA board, to ask that they adopt resolutions authorizing the issuance of bonds throughout the year. SONYMA, as folks know, is different than HFA in that HFA approves projects on a project-by-project basis and then pulls them together and issues the bonds pursuant to the series resolutions and omnibus resolutions. SONYMA is a continuing program, functions pretty much as a bank in New York State. Loans are every day, and SONYMA issues bonds periodically throughout the year, typically 2 to 3 times a year. And this and those bonds get approved by the Public Authorities Control Board as well as the State Controller. These resolutions of the board allow the issuance of bonds up in a maximum amount not to exceed a little bit over $1 billion during the for the next, basically until that gets used up for 3 years, and authorizes and that provides flexibility to staff to do the bond deals whenever they're needed for acquisition proceeds. This is what we've been doing every year. We typically do it in January. This year, we stretched out and so are coming to you in.
Please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Okay. It's a new one.
Somebody's recording me. So that's it.
All right. Thank you, Alex. Any questions for Alex on this? If not, we need SONYMA Finance and Program Committee and SONYMA directors. Alex, you want to make
Now before the SONYMA Finance and Program Committee is a resolution transmitted in connection with this item, assuming the first and seconds previously entered. That's Ken and Jesse. All in favor, please say aye.
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 And now before the SONYMA Board is a resolution transmitted in connection with this item, assuming the first and seconds previously entered for SONYMA. All in favor, please say aye.
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 So the resolutions are adopted.
Okay, great. Thank you, Alex. Thanks, everybody. Next item is before SONYMA Community Restoration Fund, which is a subsidiary of SONYMA. It's item 4, authorization of the SONYMA Community Restoration Fund, or CRF, to enter into the Regain CRF Fund 1 partnership with the CPC and PPM to purchase a pool of 120 performing loans from Fannie Mae with a capital commitment from the SONYMA CRF, or Community Restoration Fund, of $6 million, and approval of the Amendment 3 of the operating agreements of the NJCC /NYS Community Restoration Fund LLC and the NJCC-NYS Erie Community Restoration Fund LLC. Alex, who's presenting this one?
Rachel.
Oh, Rachel's. Okay. Good morning, Rachel.
Hello.
She is.
Good morning. Hi. So yes, 2 items of the SONYMA CRF. The first is a new partnership that we would like to enter, which we're calling Regain CRF Fund 1. The partnership is with the Community Preservation Corporation and Providence Portfolio Manager. In this partnership, we'll be purchasing 120 non-performing loans from Fannie Mae that we bid on June 21st. It was a community impact pool, so only government, nonprofits, and minority-owned businesses were able to bid. And we were the winning bidder at 32% of the estimated loan value. So we would like to close and use this partnership to manage the Regain program, where we will seek to give affordable loan modifications to borrowers. And when we cannot achieve that, or if they are not responsive, we would aim for a soft landing. And if we do have to foreclose on the property, we would hope to be able to obtain the REO and make sure that it's sold to an owner occupant or low income home buyer. We would be contributing $6 million as our equity contribution, and that fund will come from an Attorney General bank settlement that we already have. The other item we're seeking approval for is an amendment, the third amendment actually, to our operating agreement with our partnership with New Jersey Community Capital. It's been 5 years that we've been in this partnership with them, and we are now almost fully liquidated the pool of assets. And so this amendment is to incorporate some policy decisions that were made along the way of how our subsidy is applied to loan modifications. And I'm happy to take any questions from the members on either of those.
Rachel, thank you. Any questions from anyone? Okay, Alex, back to you.
So now before the Sunny May Community Restoration Fund, which is a subsidiary, as I said, of Sunny May, and it's essentially the Sunny May Board, is a resolution that was transmitted in connection with this item, assuming the first and seconds previously entered for Sunny May. All in favor, please say aye.
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 The motion is carried and the resolution adopted.
Thank you, and thank you, Rachel. The next item is an information item. It's number 5, the current agency procurements or contracts in the lobbying restricted period. We do this one every month. You all are familiar with it. Next item is an item for the Mortgage Insurance Committee, which means we get to see Mike Friedman. It's number 6, a resolution of Sunny May Mortgage Insurance Committee approving a $450,000 increase on a $2,500,000 CPC for permanent first mortgage loan to an aggregate amount of, you can do the math, $2,950,000 for the Monroe Building in Buffalo, Erie County. That's 716. Let me say it again. The area code of this project is 716. Just say it. Mike, good morning.
Hi, good morning. This loan comprises a $450,000 increase to an existing $250,000 commitment that was approved by the MIC in March. It's due to construction cost increases of $479,000 since the original project underwriting. It's due simply to the increased cost of materials and labor. There is an $850,000 HFA PLP second mortgage, and rents in the project are being restructured to yield an additional $37,000 in effective rental income, which more than covers the $35,000 increase in debt service. Thank you.
Mike, thank you. Good. Happy July. Any questions for Mike on this project? Or on this increase to the project, really? Good. Alex, let's do it.
Now before the Sunny May Insurance Committee, as a resolution was transmitted in connection with this item, assuming the first and seconds previously entered for the Mortgage Insurance Committee. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Good.
The motion is carried and the
Mike's
resolution adopted.
Mike will have, thanks, Alex. Mike's going to help us with number 7, resolution Sunny May Mortgage Insurance Committee and Board recommending approving 100% mortgage insurance on a $7,550,000 CPC permanent first mortgage loan for the Samaritan Cluster project in the Bronx County. By the way, as we get into this, just want to remind everybody that we got very helpful information from the staff of Ruth Ann. Help me out. The information that we get every month. Why am I forgetting the name of her organization? On
Erase Racism.
Yeah, exactly. Racism. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's a clever name. We got you all got that email a couple of days ago about projects that don't meet the standards that of the organization for advancing fair housing. And it's always just important to consider that information. I hope you all did. You know, Elaine is not, I don't think Elaine is here today, Alex, right? So I'm kind of bringing this up in her absence just to make sure her voice is heard.
Yes, she's not today.
But if people do have questions about the kind of evaluation of the projects by Elaine's team and the emails that we got, which are strictly for informational purposes, I know if you have any of these questions, please raise them. And I'm sure either the people working on the projects or Ruth Ann, you know, can address them. So there, I just wanted to get that out there and recognize Elaine's good work and the helpful information that she shares with us. And so again, here we are with number 7, the resolution setting a mortgage insurance committee board recommending improvement of mortgage insurance. Right, I said this already, for the Samaritan Cluster Project in Bronx County. Mike, do you want to give us an update on this?
Sure. So this project comprises the very substantial rehab of 2 buildings with 126 units. The project will provide 65 supportive units and 60 low-income units. The 65 supportive units will be funded through the New York City FEPS program, which is Family Eviction Prevention Subsidy. The project has very strong city support. There's an existing $32 million HPD mortgage. There's a new $28 million HPD city capital loan. There's $3.5 million in the homeless housing assistance program loan. And the city will provide 1.15 million in annual FEPS rent subsidies. And there's a full 421A real estate abatement for the life of the project. The insured loan amount is $65,500 per unit, which equals 11% of the project's total development cost of $612,000 per unit. And it's the substantial redevelopment of existing cluster housing, you know, which is housing that none of us want to see continued. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Any questions for Mike about this project in the Bronx?
No question, just a comment, Ken, if I might. I noticed that under the risk analysis, the bullet point that relates to break even, it says it'll break even with a 7% increase in operating expenses. In the current inflation environment, this is a bit of a leap of faith.
Right. Yeah, I was wondering when someone was going to raise the issue of inflation, because I think that's what was built into the increase we just approved 2 projects ago that Mike had walked us through, you know. On a percentage basis, that project jumped up a lot in cost because of materials and labor. And I guess, Ruth Ann, we're going to, you know, there's no avoiding this. We're going to continue to see this in projects, you know, as we move forward until somehow, by some, let's all be hopeful, you know, turn of economic events, inflation starts to diminish.
Yep.
Thank you. So thanks, Dave, for that observation. Any comments on that, Mike, or not really much to say,
Yes.
right?
On page 2 of the project summary, it explains that it's being underwritten without the New York City FEPS rent subsidy, because there's no contract that ensures the continuation of this subsidy for the life of the mortgage. But the actual rent is appreciably higher than we're showing. And the actual break even is higher than 7%, assuming the city continues the FEPS project, this FEPS subsidy.
Thanks, Mike.
You're welcome.
All right, Alex, you want to take care of it?
Okay, now before the Sunny Mae Mortgage Insurance Committee and the Sunny Mae Board are resolutions that were transmitted in connection with this item, assuming the first and seconds previously entered for the Mortgage Insurance Committee and for the Sunny Mae Board. All in favor, please say aye.
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 The motions are carried, the resolution adopted.
That means we can go on to number 8, which are resolutions of the Sunny Mae Mortgage Insurance Committee and of the Sunny Mae Board recommending improvement of mortgage insurance on an $8,250,000 CPC for permanent first mortgage loan. for the Wheeler Building project, which is in Yonkers in Westchester County. Though the notes don't say this, I suspect Mike can tell us about this if we're curious.
This project comprises the rehab of 3 buildings with 36 units and 5 commercial spaces. Of the 36 units, 5 will be low-income units, and they will be funded with Yonkers home funds. The other 31 units are workforce housing units. In addition to the SONYMA insured first mortgage, there's a $2 million Restore New York loan. There's $200,000 in City of Yonkers home funds. There's a 15-year pilot with the City of Yonkers, which provides for a partial tax abatement. The insured loan is $229,000 per unit, which equals 67% of the project's total development cost of $343,000 per unit. And the project would break even with an 18% vacancy loss or a 37% increase in operating expenses, or with half the commercial space vacant. Thank you.
Good, thanks, Mike. Any questions for Mike on this one? Alex, let's do it.
Okay, now before the SONYMA Mortgage Insurance Committee and the SONYMA Board of Resolutions transmitted in connection with this item, assuming the first and second is previously entered for the committee and for SONYMA, all in favor, please say aye.
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 The motions are carried and the resolution adopted.
Thanks, Alex. The next item is a new item, and it was sent to everybody under separate cover. So you may have to open up a new window on your screen or whatever, however you want to do this. It's an authorization to amend the master license agreement with Compiricus or something like that. Betsy is going to present it and tell us all how to pronounce it.
I think Lisa Pagnazzi is going to present.
That's why Lisa was last. I saw Lisa laughing when I mispronounced, when I mangled the name. So why don't we give it to Lisa while Betsy, gets to ponder how to pronounce it.
Good morning. We are requesting approval to amend the contract with Compiricus, which was approved last month for a further 4-year period. As a little background, HFA and SONYMA issue variable rate debt bonds that require market data to compute the amount of interest on bonds payable to be paid by the agencies to bondholders. These variable rates reset on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis and require an enormous amount of work to occur on a recurring monthly cycle to properly calculate bond payable. In short, without some process of automation, the risk to the agency operations of a miscalculation and subsequent over and underpayment of bonds payable exists. The data quality is also improved through automation in a process where no commercial bank relies on actual human hands to input the variable rate interest data. Similar process automation is required for the agencies to comply with GASB pronouncements on the reclassification of long-term to short-term assets and liabilities. This process requires running the maturity dates for bonds and loans and comparing to the time horizon for reporting so that only those bonds and loans with maturities within that time horizon get classified as short-term. The process is also ripe for automation due to some of the same constraints on timing and data quality as mentioned for the variable rate interest. Last year, HFA and SONYMA entered into a master license agreement with Compiricus for the procurement of 2 software products or bolt-ons for the existing SAP build that HFA manages that allow off-the-shelf functionality critical to the agency's functioning. Costs under this contract include a software license for a fee of $81,050 and annual maintenance set at $18,000. That's what was approved at last month's meeting, and the maintenance was approved for an additional 4-year period. At this time, the agency wishes to activate 2 additional modules, a financial adapter module, which allows for the integration of SAP to import financial market data from Bloomberg, and a financial reclassification module, which facilitates the reclassification of investments and debt instruments from long-term to short-term. The agency also wishes to engage Compiricus for enhanced support of these modules and the SAP Treasury module that benefits from them both. At this time, we're asking the Sunny May members they were also named as a party of the contract. We're asking them to do what HFA did last month, which is to approve the contract and a further 4-year extension on the existing contract. And today, we're also asking HFA and Sunny May members to activate the financial adapter for Bloomberg Security in an amount not to exceed $2,000 and a purchase of a subscription for the enhanced maintenance support for the financial adapter at the cost of $1,000 per month plus $130 per hour for actual hours used.
Lisa, thank you very much. Thanks for the explanation. I'll just note, Ruth Ann, that when James McIntyre was on our payroll and worked for us, he did these calculations in his head, and we didn't have to pay all this to a firm to do this. But having lost James, I guess we have to shell out the big bucks to this firm, and they can do the calculations. Thanks for the explanation. Lisa, any questions for Lisa on this? If not, let's do it.
Just one comment actually on that though, Ken. And Lisa, I can point you. I was actually texting with the person who runs the MSRB. They actually do have APIs for direct integration of data and variable rate debt into software, which may be a less expensive route from the actual depository of data by the marketing agents at some point. But anyways, at this point, this is great.
James, thank you. Any other questions or comments for Lisa on this? Let's move forward, Alex.
Now before the HFA members and the Sunny May Board are resolutions that were transmitted in connection with this item. Assuming the first and seconds previously entered for HFA and for Sunny May, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
The motion is carried and the resolution is adopted.
All right, thanks, everybody. The next item is an information item. It's number 9, and it's the Mortgage Insurance Fund Activity Report for June of this year, 2022, prepared by Mike and his team. Thanks very much to everybody. There being no further business for the Sunny May Board, Alex will now ask for motions and seconds to adjourn our Sunny May meeting for July 2022. Alex?
Assuming the first and seconds previously entered for the Sunny May Board and Sunny May Mortgage Insurance Committee, all in favor of adjourning, please signify by saying aye.
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 The motion is carried and the meeting is adjourned. Our next Sunny May Board meeting is scheduled for Thursday, September 8th at 8:30 a.m.
Alex, thank you. And I want to thank our Sunny May Board members and beg their forgiveness. I tried all meeting to come up with an upstate New York reference for Bastille Day. Today, of course, being the great French holiday, and I came up empty-handed, so sorry about that. We didn't have any projects in any towns that had French history in them, as far as I could tell. Item 10 is.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, John. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
We'll give you 2 months to come up with an anecdote.
Oh, no. We got HFA, a couple HFA items, and then we're going to be done. Number 10, a resolution of HFA members authorizing an amount not to exceed $20,283,860. That's a lot of money. In HFA subsidy funds for Riverview Towers, City of New York. This is an important project up in Upper Manhattan, New York County. And who's doing this one? Who's our New York City person?
I think Russell is presenting.
Oh, Russell. I don't see him anywhere in the screen. Sorry. Russell, good morning. I don't know where you're hiding, but look forward to your presentation.
Good morning. You can hear me, right?
Loud and clear.
All right, fantastic. Sorry, yeah, I'm at home. I don't have a camera, so you can't see me in my disheveled state right now, so that's probably good. Anyway, let me get started. Riverview Towers, a little background. It was incorporated, Riverview Towers, Inc. was incorporated on December 8th, 1960 for the purpose of organizing and constructing a limited profit housing cooperative under Article 2 of the Limited Profit Housing Companies Law of the State of New York, which is better known as the Mitchell-Lama Law, with the approval of the Commissioner of Housing and Community Renewal, now known as Homes and Community Renewal. I don't recall who the commissioner was in 1960, but Ken, perhaps you may have that information. Maybe we can get back to you on that. Tasked with this mission, Riverview Towers Mitchell-Lama Cooperative was completed in 1964. This is a 25-story high-rise located at 626 Riverside Drive in Hamilton Heights, Upper Manhattan. It's a very nice neighborhood. It overlooks the Hudson River at 140th Street. Riverview Towers is comprised of 385 residential apartments. These are owner-occupied units as part of the Mitchell-Lama Co-op. There is below ground and outdoor parking for residents and some amenities, community space, a library, a social services organization called Stepping Together occupies commercial space on the ground floor. The building, as you might imagine, has extremely low vacancy, being 100% affordable housing in Upper West Side. Currently, it is over 98% occupied, and there is a waiting list of nearly 600 applicants. The average income of the residents there ranges from about 80% AMI to 120% AMI for Manhattan. The housing company, Riverview Towers, Inc., by the way, I apologize, there is a typo in the board memo that mentions Inwood Towers. That's a separate co-op that we financed previously, but this is Riverview Towers, Inc. Anyway, the housing company serves as the owner. There are 10 board of directors, with 9 of whom elected by cooperative shareholders. 1 is designated by the HCR commissioner, who all serve as cooperative fiduciaries, including approving of the financing we are today requesting of our board, as well as approving budget-based maintenance charge increases that will help to pay for the financing that is going to substantially rehabilitate the building. As the building is nearly 60 years old, there are significant capital needs, as well as an opportunity here to upgrade and modernize some of the building systems with energy efficiency measures. And with that in mind, there's incentive funding through our NYSERDA partners. They've awarded the project about $577,000 for this purpose. So anyway, a comprehensive integrated physical needs assessment, or IP&A, was conducted. The IP&A helps to identify the critical items that need more immediate addressment, and then there are also longer-term needs identified in order to extend the useful life of the building and increase energy efficiency. I was going to list some of those items, but in the interest of time, if anyone has additional questions in that, please reach out to me. I'd rather just continue on since we're running out of time. The total cost for the renovation of the building in total is about $24.4 million. Work is expected to take about 24 months. Residents will not have to be relocated during the renovations. This work, plus the soft costs associated with it, funding of required reserves, and the payoff of existing private bank loans of approximately $5.3 million, all of this together will be financed through a conventional first mortgage of approximately $12.2 million through the CBRE, that's Coldwell Banker Richard Ellis. That will be insured by Freddie Mac, the NYSERDA incentives that I previously mentioned, and then the balance financing coming through our HFA subsidy loan through our Mitchell-Lama loan program in the amount of $20.4 million. The construction team of firms that are going to be doing this work were approved through a bid selection process coordinated by our DHCR colleagues. As I mentioned earlier, the substantial scope of work is made financially feasible through approved carrying charge increases that are reviewed by DHCR and approved by the co-op's board. But as so not to overburden residents with a one-time huge increase, the increase will be phased in over 2 years. The first phase is going into effect on September 1st of this year. So in summation, the significant capital improvements, energy efficiency measures, financial restructuring, and also a new 40-year regulatory agreement will ensure that this beacon of affordable Mitchell-Lama housing will remain viable for many years to come. Thank you.
Russell, thank you. Great review of an important, very important project with a great history. Any questions for Russell on this? Okay, Alex, let's make it. Let's put all of Russell's good work, make it official.
This will be the first beacon of a project that HFA will be approving in my tenure here. Now, before the HFA members is a resolution that was transmitted in connection with this item. Assuming the first and second previously entered for HFA. All in favor, please say aye.
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 The motion is carried and the resolution adopted.
Great project. Thank you, Alex, and a great, again, congratulations to Russell and the team and all the work that went into this. 11, but by the way, the next 2 items are AHC items. I saw a comment from Dominic in the chat, so we know he's with us and paying close attention to the proceedings today. And he's been patient, so now we get to take up some of his, let's see. Resolution authorizing an award of grant funds for certain projects under the Buffalo Emergency Repair Program. Dominic, good morning, my friend. What are you doing to make emergency repairs in Buffalo?
So we're not doing anything. Our partners in Buffalo, hopefully going forward, will be assisting owner-occupied homeowners with emergency repair to their homes. What we're doing today is looking for authorization of the board to give Ruth Ann the authority to make awards between board meetings. We anticipate making awards between now and the next board meeting in September to existing groups who already have contracts similar to what we did with the Ida Relief Fund. And everything else will be AHC directed, similar to the projects in item resolution number 12. We're just asking that we have the ability, or Ruth Ann has the ability to make the awards subject to ratification at the next board meeting. This is in connection to the governor's announcement on Juneteenth for assistance to the east side of Buffalo. There's several different programs, one of which landed, several of which landed at the agency. Once this one specifically landed with AHC, Ruth Ann and Dina Levy have been working extensively with the governor's office and the chamber on how we're going to get these dollars out to the folks that need them most.
Great. Very important thing to do, especially in that part of Buffalo. Thanks, Dominic. Proposal makes sense to me. If directors don't have any questions for you on it, we'll ask Alex to make it official.
Now before the AHC board is a resolution that was transmitted in connection with this item. Assuming the first and second was previously entered for AHC, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Motion is carried and the resolution adopted.
Terrific. Let's do another one. Item 12, a resolution authorizing an award of grant funds for certain projects located inside and outside of the city of New York. Alex, do we need Dominic to give some detail on this?
I think Dominic probably wants to give detail, but we're going to stop him. So now before
Alex,
now
you
before,
can't stop me. You can only hope to contain.
There we go. He has such a joie de vivre. That was a French reference. Joie de vivre. No, nobody got it.
Yes, good one. Very good, Alex. We heard that. We heard you're French.
He personifies Long Island's joie de vivre, which is better than French. Now before AHC is a resolution that was transmitted in connection with this item. Assuming the first and second is previously entered for AHC, all in favor, please say aye.
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 We. The motion is carried and the resolution adopted.
I like it when Alex speaks.
Merci.
Alex speaks French with a Cuban accent. That's good.
Oh, God, I'm hurt. I am hurt.
You are finding ways to recognize Bastille Day. That's great. Dominic, Dominic, for many, that's a French name. But in your case, perhaps not. I hope you're pleased and you have all the funds you need for your projects inside and outside of New York. As my used to say, don't spend it all in one place. I guess you can.
I'll try not to. Thank you.
And
Enjoy
outside
the
of New
summer.
York. All right. Thanks very much, Dominic. Good to see you, my friend. Alex, I think we're done. And as I look at all this material, it occurs to me that there is no further business for HFA, HTFC, and AHC. So I could ask you, if you're kind enough and can do it in French, for motions and seconds to adjourn today's meetings.
Nous sommes finis. There being no further business for AHFA, HTFC, and AHC boards, Alexander will now ask for motions and seconds to adjourn the meetings. Assuming the first and second is previously entered for HFA, HTFC, and AHC, all in favor of adjourning, please signify by saying oui.
Wait.
Oui. The motion. Jesse cannot say oui. He has to say aye. The meetings are adjourned. Our next board meetings are scheduled for Thursday, September 8th at 8:30 a.m.
Great, Alex. Thanks. Yeah. Ruth Ann, thank you. To all of our members and directors, thank you. Enjoy the rest of July and healthy, happy, and maybe even relaxing August. We will reconvene in that week. I guess that's right around Labor Day. We'll be back to labor and advance the good work of the agencies at that time. Thanks, Ruth Ann. Thanks, Alex. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Enjoy.
Thank you. Bye-bye.